نحمده ونستعين به ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا وسندنا وسراجنا المنير محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعصهما فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد أما بعد فقد قال الله عز وجل في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه ومن قام ليلة القدر إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Amma ba'du, my dear respected brothers, my respected sisters, respected elders, ulama, scholars, fellow friends, bifadlillahi azza wa jalla. By the grace and mercy of Allah, we have once again united and gathered here in this masjid with no purpose apart from worshiping Allah azza wa jalla. And this opportunity, this honor, this ni'mah of Allah azza wa jalla is very, very great, it's huge. And so for having this ni'mah, for wanting to come, for being united, for being in a masjid, to remember Allah Azza wa Jalla, for being among those upon whom the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jalla descended, about whom Allah Azza wa Jalla takes pride in amongst His angels. We say, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. This is a great ni'mah. In addition to the fact that it's Jum'ah, it's also the first Jum'ah of the holy month of Ramadan, of 1440th Hijri. And as we go through these days of Ramadan, the 5th fast is today, and you will soon find yourself in the 25th fast, and soon it will finish completely, and it will go once again, and then 1441 Hijri will also be coming. Time goes very fast. The system of time, Allah has put the time in a rotation that it's going to continue to move regardless of whether you move with it or not. Time is like a sword, whether you behave or not, whether time is like, so it will destroy you at some point, it will cut you whether you use it or not. The time, we say we kill time, but the time will eventually kill us. And so it's very important to use our time properly, especially those special moments, the moments where we can use them, and if we use them properly, then we can attain great ranks and great statuses. This month is a month of attaining taqwa, or a month of attaining the forgiveness of Allah Azza wa Jal, a month of attaining and acquiring the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal. Whoever is not able to attain the forgiveness or the rahmah of Allah Azza wa Jal, then he is surely very unfortunate. And so just like we planned last Friday, we need to once again revise our plans to see if I am doing the best I can do in Ramadan to be the best person that I can be. 5 days have gone, errors may have happened. Maybe I'm not doing as much as I should have been doing or I could have been doing. And so therefore we need to look into our ibadat once again and try to improve once again. We said last week that if we just were to focus on the ibadat that are scheduled into the month of Ramadan and try to perfect them, then they alone are good enough to make us muttaqin, to make us of those who have achieved taqwa. We are to fast, we will fast. But if we can perfect this fast, and it's not just a matter of hunger and thirst, rather it's a matter of refraining from all forms of sins. Rather it's a matter of refraining and stopping thinking about all forms of sins, then my Ramadan is surely successful. If Ramadan changes me, then I can see that it's successful for me. If Ramadan comes and goes and I'm still the same person, then maybe we can't say the same thing. Ramadan should make a difference. I am going to pray in Ramadan. I am going to perhaps pray Taraweeh too in Ramadan. but to perfect it. The niyyah is 100% for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla. That will make you closer. That will give you that training that's required. And so, the hadith Qudsi tells us that Allah Azza wa Jalla, the action that He loves most is the fara'id. That the best action by which you can get closer to Allah is by doing the fara'id. What that means for us is that when I come and do my fard action, whether it be fasting, whether it be zakat, whether it be salah, I need to put it to 100% effort. And I need to give it my all, everything, to make sure that it's the best it can be. Unfortunately, we have some of us in our community who have got the balance slightly wrong. We are more serious about Taraweeh than our daily 5 salahs. Praying the Taraweeh is a good thing regardless. But the balance should be there, whereby we should know that for me to pray my 5 daily salahs is fard. And Taraweeh is not fard. It's very important, but it does not come close to your daily 5 salahs. And so, brother, you might be praying Taraweeh, but please also try to make sure your 5 daily salahs are also in place. At least start from this month. We need to make sure our fara'id are in place. And so therefore, to try and make sure our fasting is good. Our salawat are in place. Try to make it in the jama'ah as much as possible. It's very important. In addition to that, the Taraweeh you will also do. And with every single rak'ah of Taraweeh that you pray or salah that you pray, remind yourself that I am doing it for the sake of Allah. I am standing in front of Allah. I can see Allah, or Allah can see me. Have that feeling and the whole salah will change. It will become only for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and the maximum reward will be gained. So, to do your fast properly, to do your salah properly, to do your qiyamul layl properly that you're already doing. One thing that we're very, very unaware of, or maybe a bit easy and relaxed about, is zakat. Zakat is an obligation. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. Just like He said, establish salah, He said also give zakat. We must give zakah if we are supposed to give zakah. Zakah is a fard. It's such a fard that if you don't give it for 20 years, it's still in your account to give it. You don't just get away with it by not giving it for so many years. You have to backdate it at some point in your life, in this dunya or in the akhirah. So zakat. What is zakat? Zakat is a percentage, 2.5% of your wealth, that you need to and must give to the eligible people that are listed in the Quran, to them only. So the giver of zakah is specified. From what you give zakah is also specified. Which amount you give is also specified. And to whom you give the zakah is also specified. All of these things must be specified for zakah to be correct. The giver of zakah is the person who is the owner of nisab, and upon whose wealth, upon whose nisab 1 year has passed, 1 lunar year. 1 lunar year, not Gregorian sunlight years. Because the difference between the two calendars is about 11 or more days. And so make sure that my zakat date is fixed on the lunar date of Muharram, of Safar, of Rajab, of Rabi'ul Awwal, of Ramadan preferably. When do I need to start paying zakat? I need to start paying zakat when I become the owner of nisab. What is nisab? Nisab is a set amount. It's a particular amount of property you need to own before you start giving zakat. What are the things from which I need to give zakat? Zakat is taken from at least 4 kinds of property: cash, gold, silver, and trade goods. Normally, we don't have to give zakat for our clothes or for our shoes. But if you're a trader of shoes or clothes, then you need to give zakat for those goods that you are selling. And so, my property from which I give zakat is cash, gold, silver, or the trade goods. When do I need to start giving it? Your zakat year starts from the day that you own the nisab. What's the nisab? The nisab calculated according to the silver nisab, the nisab of silver, is about 250 pounds. And so therefore, the day that you become owner of 250 pounds in excess of your daily needs, so you've paid your bills,
You paid for your day's basic needs, you've done your shopping, all of the basics are done, then you've got an excess of £250, whether it be in cash, gold, silver, or trade goods. From that day, your zakat year has started. That might be the 5th of Ramadan. That might be the 5th of Shawwal. It might be any month. From that date, your zakat year has started. Imagine it's the 5th of Ramadan, like today. Today I've become the owner of Nisab. 1 year should now go. So zakat is such that it does not demand that you pay it from the next day. And so for those who don't pay zakat, you had a whole year to enjoy that wealth before you had to pay it. And so not giving it is a huge crime. At the time of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he went to war against those who were not giving zakat. It goes to show how important and how central it is. He compared it to Salah. Just like a tariq Salah would be challenged, similarly the person who leaves zakat should also be challenged. And so therefore, from the 5th of Ramadan, I become the owner of Nisab. I wait until a whole year. I come to the 4th of Ramadan next year. So now, 1 lunar year is finished. I look at my property. I find that I've got £500 in excess. Or I've got £500 in my account. But from that, I need to give an immediate bill of £50. I need to give my son's fee of some sort, that must be right now, another £100. I've got some sort of other expense, some shopping that I need to do right now, that's another £50. That's taken my £500 to £300. After my basic needs and my expenses, I get this £300 and I get 2.5% from that and I give it as zakat. Who do I give it to? It's listed. You can't give zakat to anybody and anywhere. Zakat can be given to masakin, fuqara, and others in that list too. Consult a local alim or a mufti for your specific case if you're not sure. And so therefore, we need to make sure that zakat is given. Same for your trading, same for your business. If we haven't yet done it for several years, then you need to go back to your accounts and see how much you owned in those previous years and backdate them. Because otherwise, we are to be questioned. We can be questioned. We can be punished for it by Allah Azza wa Jalla. Remember, this is very, very important. Zakat, make sure it's done. In addition to your zakat, if you can give any sadaqat, do it for the sake of Allah only. We will be doing fundraising every now and then in the masjid. When you stand and show your hand to give zakat, to give your sadaqah, remember that you're doing it for only Allah Azza wa Jalla. You might be encouraging others by showing that you've given it, but your intention should only purely be for the sake of Allah Azza wa Jalla. You'll be surprised to know that the first people with whom Jahannam will be ignited, أول من يسعر به النار, the first people with whom Jahannam will be fueled, is not the biggest of sinners you can imagine. Is the Qari of the Quran who was showing off with his tilawah. Is the person that was giving sadaqah to show off. It's a very severe situation, and so make sure our intention is correct. Finally, quickly to touch upon one more point before we finish today's khutbah. Quran. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Quran is something, we've spoken about this so many times. What is Kalamullah Azza wa Jalla? It's the words of Allah. And so just like Allah is more precious and more respected and more honored and more great than everything else, similarly His Kalam, His word, is also greater, more special, more respected and more honorable than all else. Kalamullah Azza wa Jalla. لا يمسه إلا المطهرون. It's so precious and so respected that only those who are in a ritual state of purity can even touch it. And so therefore, Kalamullah is special to us. Allah Azza wa Jal takes pride in the Qari of the Quran. Just to go through some of the benefits of the Quran. For each letter you get 10 hasanat. You should have got 1 hasana for each letter. But because Kalamullah, because Quran Kareem, you get 10 hasanat for each letter. In Ramadan it's multiplied even more. The Quran, it rewards you. It heals you. Shifa. It comforts you. أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. It guides you. Huda. It keeps you on track. It guides you and keeps you on track. The person who's gone distant from the Quran has often become misguided or gone off track. It raises your status all around. Quran is such, wherever it comes, it brings honor with it. The person who reads or teaches the Quran is the best. خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَ. The night in which is revealed, لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. The night is better than 1,000 months. The month in which is revealed is the best of all of the months. The Prophet upon whom is revealed is the best of all of the prophets. The Ummah upon whom it's revealed, the Ummah of the Prophet ﷺ, is the best of all of the Ummahs. Quran is such, wherever it goes, it brings honor with it. The Quran raises you if you act upon it, if you treat it the way you're supposed to treat it. Quran makes you a VIP to Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah has got specific people that are beloved to Him in dunya. One of them is Ahlul Quran, Ahlullahi wa Khassatuh. Becoming a master of reciting the Quran takes your status to be among the ambassadors amongst the angels. Those who bring the Quran from Lawh al-Mahfuz to Sama' al-Dunya. And so becoming a good reciter of the Quran has got a huge reward. And of course, if you're trying, you also get reward for that as well. Makes you firm and moment in the moments of difficulty. Gives you a crown of honor and respect on Qiyamah. If you memorize the Quran, then your parents are also given a crown that is that's more light, that's more illuminated, more powerful, more bright than the sun itself. Raises your levels in Jannah. You recite the Quran, Iqra wartaqi. Read and rise and ascend in Jannah, Allah Azza wa Jalla will tell you. And if you look at examples of those who've really taken the Quran seriously, Al-Imam al-Nawawi says, those who have finished the entire Quran in one rak'ah are countless. He names Uthman ibn Affan, Tamim al-Dari, to name some of them. Imam al-Dhahabi says, Abu Bakr ibn Ayyash Shu'bah lived for 40 years doing one khatam every single day. Imam al-Shafi'i reported on numerous narrations done 60 khatams of the Quran in the month of Ramadan, meaning 2 khatams a day. This is the example of our Salaf. This is how they used to teach the Quran. Sufyan ibn Uyaynah says, the one who's gathered the Quran in his heart has gathered nubuwwah in his heart. And so the Quran is very precious to us, and so therefore we should recite it, we should listen to it, we should understand it, we should practice it, we should also try to teach it to our youngers, to our family, to our children, and to our nephews and nieces and our neighbors. Alongside with that, remember also while you're walking, while you're sitting idle, to do adhkar, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, La ilaha illallah, to do istighfar, astaghfirullah, to recite Ayatul Kursi after every Salah. Did you know, reciting Ayatul Kursi after every Salah, there is a hadith that says that the person who recites Ayatul Kursi after every Salah, there is nothing between him and Jannah except for death. What are we waiting for? After every Salah, recite Ayatul Kursi. Do lots of dua at suhood time, before iftar time, times of acceptance. In your tahajjud time, helping family, encourage others, neighbors and relatives. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give us all the ability to aqul qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah. نحمد الله حمد الشاكرين ونصلي ونسلم على النبي الكريم محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. وارض اللهم عن الخلفاء الراشدين أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن سائر أصحاب نبيك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين وارحم موتانا وموتى المسلمين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم تقبل منا صيامنا وقيامنا وتلاوتنا كما تقبلت من عبادك الصالحين. اللهم بلغنا ليلة القدر يا رب العالمين. وصل الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا اعتدلوا واستقيموا وتراصوا. الله أكبر.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. الله أكبر.